All right, who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Woo! Yeah, we're ready. Thank you guys very much for tuning in to episode 30 of the Dirt Life Show. We are so stoked to be with you guys tonight and have you guys tuning in. I'm Georgie Hamill, as always. Right next to me, I got my buddy Casey Peck. How's it going, dude?
What's up, man?
Looks like you got some new shoes.
I did. I got some new kicks.
Dude, if anybody didn't know, Casey's favorite color is orange.
Yes, it is.
And checker flags never hurt anybody.
No, never hurt anybody.
Those things are pretty bitchin', man.
Especially racer guys, right?
I know one of our listeners likes Vans, too, so.
My fave.
Yeah. Super cool. Well, yeah, like I said, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We really enjoy you guys tuning in. I mean, I say it every single week, and I'll say it until the day I die. It is the lifeblood of the show, having you guys watch, and just all the comments and everything that we've been getting, man. We were at the works races this past weekend, and holy crap, I didn't even understand how many people knew about the show. It's just insane cool. How many people I got to shake hands with, how many people talked to me, how many people pulled me over while I was riding the pit bike around, like
nice.
having fun. It was really, really cool, man. It's neat to see that the show is touching so many people, and I'm glad that we get to share everybody's stories. We have some fantastic guests on the show, and we are very, very lucky to be able to have all these people and share their stories. And some of these people just make a huge difference to a lot of other people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's nice. It's nice to see, and they change us too. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. How many times have we been done with the show, and on the way home, we're texting, and it's like, dude, I'm like changed from that, whatever that was, whichever guy it was, yeah, or gal.
100%. I mean, we've even sat in the garage for an hour or two after the show just talking about it. So it's super cool. We got a pretty packed show for you guys today. We are going to talk with our featured guest, Justin Covarrubias. He's a really, really awesome kid. I got to meet him this weekend, and we wanted to get him on the show as quickly as possible. So we had a cancellation from Sarah Price. She went to the Sonora Rally this weekend, or today actually, and so she's going to come on about a month or so, and so we got to get Justin in, and man, we are excited. When I saw him, and it was introduced by Sarah Danbury, Caden Danbury's mother, at the races this weekend, I just couldn't believe how cool Justin's family was. Mom Jamie, the dad Ray, just like all the same stuff that we used to do in motocross. He grew up riding dirt bikes and unfortunately was injured, had a broken back, and now is I don't want to say confined to a wheelchair, but that's the doctor's term, because he's starting to walk around. His dad told me that he actually did some stuff where he went and taught people to walk in one of those exoskeleton suits.
Oh, yeah, those things are awesome.
Dude, yeah, and he went and, he outgrew it, basically. Like, he was too good for the exoskeleton.
Graduated?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that was cool to hear, and he went and actually took all his experience and started helping people with it, awesome. And showing them. So we can ask Justin some questions about that. He's just kind of getting into the side-by-side racing. He races a normally aspirated Polaris RZR, and he did really well this weekend. The track was super gnarly at the works race in Havasu, and first time I ever been there, so it was cool to see. Kind of one line though. I didn't like it very much, but he did awesome. You know, it was like a battle of attrition. Those races are like kind of like the desert stuff where, well, you've seen it in the RC car stuff too, but
is that class more, what do you want to call it? Spec or specific or stock, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Kind of
spec, I guess.
Yeah,
it's non-turbo, right? Because normally aspirated.
Yeah, so the way that they do it, like nowadays, I guess even in Lucas and Works, it's kind of like 250 and 450 in Supercross.
Okay.
So the normally aspirated would be like the 250 class.
Okay, right.
And then the turbo class would be like the 450 class,
Gotcha.
like the real fast guys. But most of the time, the normally aspirated class is more competitive.
I can
because
imagine.
there's more people in that class. It's a little bit, not much, but more affordable.
Right.
And it's just a really good class. And that's where, the Yamahas and the Hondas and stuff race too, because they don't make a production turbo vehicle. So
got it right.
So there's only two manufacturers that make a production turbo.
That already makes it bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have 4 or 5 different manufacturers instead of just 2.
Right.
So it's pretty cool to see. I thought it was really neat that he was out there racing. I looked at his setup, the way that he has it, and since he's in the wheelchair, he well, first of all, I want to finish what I was saying before I lose my train of thought. he kind of got out of the exoskeleton, and his dad was saying that he's starting to see if he can walk around and stuff. Like, so I was, sharing my story with him a little bit and how I was doing things when I first got hurt. And man, I think he's got a good chance. So it'll be cool to see his progression, not just in racing, but in life, man.
Sure. Heck
so,
yeah.
And he's super young, so it'll be cool to watch his progression. Caden Danbury just chimed in. What's up, Caden? And yeah, so I thought the Works Racing was really cool, man. I really did. And, I don't know that it would beat Lucas in my mind because I just like the speed and the battles and things like that of Lucas.
Sure.
The Works Racing is more desert kind of stuff. It was super duper cool.
Would you say it's a little more grassroots?
Absolutely.
Because it's a little more regional?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's more grassroots. However, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think
that's awesome. I think we need more of that than everything being a championship race every time.
Right, exactly.
Like, across all types of racing.
It's funny that you say that because we actually had a few discussions with other racers there about this same subject. And there's a lot of guys that are joining the Works Series now because of the grassroots portion. It's semi-affordable to race. And, if it's not like a Lucas professional race, it's really expensive to race those races.
Absolutely.
It's and I don't want to say it's a different level, but it really is when you talk about finances, team help.
Right.
You have to have a crew of people helping you, and there has to be a lot of things that go into the equation to be able to do it.
Right.
Whereas the work stuff, you can kind of just go in there, show up, run what you brung, and race. And to me, that was one of the awesomest things because there was so many people that were there, and they were kind of, if you have issues and you're stressed out, but they were almost de-stressed compared to what I'm used to in the professional Lucas ranks.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so it was cool, and it really reminded me of us growing up, like racing dirt bikes and stuff locally.
Yeah, it seems like with that kind of venue that it is more open to everybody to show up. Like maybe people aren't as totally psyched up. And again, not to take anything from it because it's still awesome competition.
Yeah.
But maybe the family or the people or whatever, the specific person that wants to get into this, maybe that it's too lofty of a goal to all of a sudden go after a Lucas race.
Yeah, 100%. And it is. And Lucas has their feeding ground at the regional level,
right.
But it's the Works Racing is definitely a better feeder series for sure.
That's good.
And they had tons of people. They had quads, they had side-by-sides. I think they do dirt bikes, but they do it on a different weekend because there's too many people.
Oh, nice.
On the track. And that Lake Havasu track.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. And that Lake Havasu track was super, super cool from a fan standpoint because there's so many places to watch from.
Awesome.
And you have the cool backdrops like the lake, and they have this one section. Well, they have two really cool sections, but one section where the side-by-side drivers come around like this really steep kind of cliff almost, and they're down on the bottom, and they're roosting sand into the lake coming back around towards you. And so they shoot back towards you, and then they go like through this little like single track, and then they have to jump over part of the lake that they like dug out.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like a river gap.
Alligator pit.
Yeah. It's like that same thing, but it was gnarly because they would jump over and you kind of land flat, so it looked like it hurt. But Jesse Nelson posted a video today. Actually, he cased it and rode the front wheel for so long his fenders flew off.
Flying W.
Yeah, it was gnarly. But yeah, it was pretty much a flying W, but he saved it. So he scrubbed it every time after that.
Nice. Did he do all right? Or do you want to get into that later?
He did pretty good. Now we can get into it now. He did pretty good. He drove fantastic. I didn't know what to expect from this race, first of all. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what to expect from Jesse. I didn't know what to expect from our, featured guest, Justin. I didn't know what to expect from the little guys, anybody. And it ended up really, changing the way that I looked at it because I saw how aggressive and how much effort these people are putting in to their driving skill set on these different courses. How can I relate it to motocross? So all the motocross guys and supercross guys always think that's it. They're the coolest, right?
Right.
Off-road guys are dumb. The whole,
right.
persona of it.
Sure.
We thought that when we were little. Now it's different. We like the off-road stuff. But the ability that these guys have to go around these tracks and this terrain is just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Because you have to be able to read stuff way different.
Well, remember when we were kind of I won't say we were acting like that, but we were pro moto guys, right? Oh,
Right.
so we're doing our thing. And remember when Destry would show up, and
Yeah.
that guy would get it.
Yeah.
And he would whole shot, and I would have a hard time with a whole moto trying to race with him. So
and he wasn't always hitting the same lines. He was doing different things.
Right,
Yeah.
that whole different perspective. So I agree with you, and I think that goes across the lines of, again, all racing, is that it makes a way more gritty type of racer. Because
100%.
This stuff, I would imagine, they're still going to prep the track and stuff, but it's all different terrain, like you said. So to show up to these different races and rise to the top at each time or at each event with all these different kind of terrains or whatever, that just prepares those guys
kind of like Ryan Sipes.
More.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that just prepares them way more for, when they go to that big stage or whatever.
Exactly. Well, Alfonso even said, like, on a comment here, he said that Jesse actually, his door popped open and he reached for it and closed it.
Nice.
So that's pretty funny too.
Like Ford versus Ferrari. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't yet, but I want
to. Yeah, I won't ruin it.
Okay, so yeah, it was pretty cool, and to kind of go along with that reading terrain stuff, there was two dudes that I watched closely, and I'm sure I missed it from other guys, but Jesse Nelson, obviously, I was watching him, and another driver, Elliot Cook. He's actually from Florida and made his way all the way out there to do it.
That's pretty far.
But they're moto guys, and they were like timing the little bumps. Like, in the outdoor track when it gets super gnarly.
So they're turning them into like rhythms almost.
Or braking bumps or acceleration bumps. And they were like doubling them through them. And you could see their suspension wouldn't get upset. Like all the other guys are just Tomac like pushing through it.
Right.
These guys are like rhythming through it. It was
cool.
And so like that portion of it like blew my mind because I was like, I don't think I could do that. Like I'm like more like Tomac. Let's like go from the Lucas experience,
That's why I always say, we heard it a couple different times from guys where we say, hey, would you say your moto experience got you lines or whatever? And no, not really. Some of them said that, but stuff like that I don't think you can like explain. You know what I mean? It's like someone like that, like Ryan Sipes, who picks up the wheelie thing on that TT race.
Yeah.
And then those guys didn't even think of it. But then, of course, now they're like, okay, now we need to up our game a little bit. So I kind of feel like that's what I'm getting at when I'm talking about how you see that stuff differently. You know what I mean?
And now because since I saw it firsthand, I was like, holy crap, that's so cool. And to me, just seeing that, like for the first time, I'm sure it's happened in a bunch of other works races, but I was like, holy shit, this side-by-side thing is growing big.
That's
like,
so cool.
If dudes are doing this in their side-by-sides, like how finely tuned are these athletes and drivers in their cars to be able to do that?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Because you're not on a dirt bike.
The timing for that.
So,
that's cool.
A few of these guys obviously have to use hand controls and stuff. Jesse uses a ring around the steering wheel.
I saw that. That is cool.
But I kind of like the way that Justin had his set up. He has a twist throttle, dirt bike twist throttle here. He just drives with his left hand.
Okay.
So Jesse has both hands on the wheel, and he said he likes that. But I'm used to just doing the left hand and then shifting. So I kind of like Justin's setup. He has a twist throttle, and then he can just push for the brakes.
Oh, nice.
So you can still have the gas on while you're pushing the brakes, like if you want to slow it down that way.
That's pretty cool.
So I thought it was pretty bitchin'. It looks like we got a couple more comments. While you read those comments, I'm going to thank our sponsors. So, well, actually, first, let's tell everybody how to connect. So, if you haven't heard the show before, we are on episode 30, so please go back and check out some of the previous shows. We've had some fantastic guests on, way, way, way cooler than any of us, that's for dang sure. And definitely worth checking out. We always want you guys to connect. You can connect through our website, www.thedirtlifeshow.com. It has links to all of our social media. If you don't want to check that out, you can hit us up on social media at The Dirt Life Show on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Nobody uses Twitter anymore, so
except for the president.
Yeah, you can. And
Steve.
Oh yeah, that's
Steve
true.
Westfall.
Both of these.
Yeah.
So just check us out on all our social media platforms. And so we want to thank all of our sponsors. We have a new partner that we're working with that we're trying to grow the relationship, and we think it's going to be a fantastic hookup for everybody that's watching the show, and that's Rugged Radios. Rugged Radios is going to be giving away some stuff here shortly, so maybe in the next show or two, we'll be able to start the contest, and we'll be able to give away some radios to you guys. If you need some radios right now before we give away those radios, you can use the code DIRTLIFE at the rugged.radios.com website, and you can get a big old fat discount there. So thank you to the guys at Rugged Radios. Those guys are always super cool. They've helped us out a million times at the races, making sure that we can talk to each other. So we love those guys. The Steves, everybody, Dustin, all those guys over there. Thank you very much. As always, please use the code DIRTLIFE to save money at Shock Therapy. We went up and saw those guys on Friday. They helped out with a special project that we're going to be revealing on April 3rd. Has absolutely nothing to do with off-road or motorsports, so it's a super cool project in my mind, and so we're stoked to have that, and we're stoked that the Shock Therapy guys helped us out. So like I said, use the code DIRTLIFE, get a big old fat discount on any Shock Therapy products, ride improvement systems, sway bar links, anything. They have tons and tons of cool stuff. Even get a t-shirt, man. Those red t-shirts that they got are awesome. And thank you very much to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products. We got a Can-Am case cover right there from Zollinger, and these things are just bitchin', man. Like, we can show this like in a product showcase another day, but just like when you look at that, don't you think, how did the machine even cut this thing?
I know. Think of the programming that went into that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And you have to match it to the factory specs too.
Right.
So it's crazy, and to have all those access on a machine is just. It's super cool. And that started out as a square piece of aluminum.
Yep. They're not messing around, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's pretty, rigid stuff. So use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com and go get yourself some badass products. So thank you very much to any of our sponsors, or all of our sponsors. We really, really appreciate it. There's a couple things that we wanted to talk about today. One that we just think is a serious and stupid subject at the same time. And I'll preface it by saying that because there is some seriousness to it. And
well, you coughed, and I was going to ask you if you had a fever.
Yeah, just check it out.
Just kidding.
Don't breathe on me. Don't breathe on me.
Just kidding.
But there's some serious to it. And one of the reasons we wanted to bring it up, because so many of our favorite events have been canceled because of this. I don't even want to say COVID-19 because 19 is my number and it pisses me off.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
I'm calling it cough 19.
Okay, perfect.
But 19's not good, so
just call it cough then.
Cough.
Yeah. So we'll just call it cough from now on. But we're just upset because we can't see Supercross anymore. We
really why I'm upset. Absolutely. Isn't that terrible? We're making light of it, obviously, everybody. But
yeah.
But it was like, oh, man, it's bummed out and no toilet paper and whatever. And then I'm like, Supercross, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like that's the end of the world for us now.
Yeah, my bad.
So it definitely sucks that we're having to all go through this. But I guess just as a public service announcement, everybody just keep your shit clean. Like, make sure that you take care of your kids. Make sure you keep your stuff clean. And everybody can make as much fun of it as they want. I think it's fantastic to see all these jokes and memes and stuff online and people talking shit. I even did it myself on my social media. So I think it's rad. But take it seriously and make sure you protect your family, because that's the most important thing. And don't go spreading it around to other people either. Get checked and do all that stuff. Make sure that you're watching out for everybody. So enough preaching about that. We want to just make sure that everybody takes care of themselves so we can watch Supercross again as quickly as possible.
Darn it.
So that we don't miss it anymore.
So a couple of comments were asking about when Justin was coming on.
Probably, what time is it now? 6:20, probably in the next 10 minutes or so. We just got a couple more subjects that we got to do, and we're going to bring Justin on. We'll go to commercial break, and then we'll bring him right on. We can't wait to talk to him. And one of the questions I was going to ask you is, are you still hungry? Because you got some pot pie before you got to.
I did.
No,
it was perfect.
I don't know if it was that good.
It was pretty good.
Your mom makes a serious pot pie.
Yeah, let me back up. It wasn't perfect. It was not Mom's meat pie, that's for sure.
So you were telling me the other day, like, you got my freaking juices flowing with this. Like, your mom makes a roast and then she uses all the excess or whatever for the pot pie.
All the leftovers for pot pie. It is not even right. And since obviously we haven't lived at home for a long time, see all this white in my face, so we don't get it very often. So when she makes it, it's like, what? I got to be there. So we were treated.
It's like a special occasion.
Oh, it's so good. It's not even right.
So Debbie's pot pie.
Yes. It's the best.
Well, lucky your dad's over there so he can get as much as he wants, huh?
Yep.
Shout out to Jim, too. I hope you're feeling better, bud. I wanted to take a quick minute to throw a shout out to my buddy Chris Eiton. I went and visited him in the hospital on Friday, and he is doing much better. For any of you that know Chris, please send him a Facebook message or wish him well. He is doing a lot better, and we love you, Chris. Thank you very much for inviting me, and we can't wait to see you, bud. We're going to play some sim games with you. Really the only thing that I want to talk about other than that was how really cool the works racing was. Like, first of all, they didn't stop it because of all the stuff, the madness that's going on.
Yeah, they weren't scared, huh?
So yeah, and it's cool that they didn't, because so many people had such a great time, and I'm sure it brought out new people too.
Sure. Again, I think it speaks to that grassroots approach. Imagine, I mean, that somebody came from Florida.
Yeah, Elliot Cook.
Obviously, everybody was rolling the dice a little bit because if you have a pulse and you have any kind of media, you know what's going on.
He said they were like extra vigilant at the airport, but there was nobody there.
Right. So I guess what I'm getting at is that, like, maybe they're giving the fact of, well, most people are going to do the right thing.
Right.
And here we are out in the dirt to play with race cars. So
you're dirty anyways.
Right.
But I think everybody was still conscious of it. So it was cool to see, though.
I agree.
And the fact that they had the race and there was that big of a turnout was phenomenal. Like, there was a couple things that actually really surprised me. Back to the grassroots thing. They had have you ever seen when they do those runs where they put like colored powder on you or whatever?
Oh,
the
yeah.
little fun runs or whatever?
Darn it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're called color runs or something, right? Like
there's a bunch of them, but yes, I know
they're
what you're
the fun
about.
runs, like not the mud run things, but they're like they put colored paste all over you. Right. So Jesse actually did it on a quad, and he had all kinds of color on it.
Oh, really?
But so they did this with all the kids, and there was hundreds of kids running the track.
Oh, cool.
Doing this, because they had prizes, like a little scavenger hunt kind of thing, and then they had to come back.
So they're doing this as part of the event.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
It was awesome.
Gets the whole family.
Yeah,
involved.
I got some really cool video. I'm going to try to put it all together and maybe publish it towards the end of the week here and do a little recap. Georgia's time at the works races, it was super cool, and I still can't get over the scenic views that they had at the races. Man, it was just super rad.
It sounds really awesome.
The track got like really, really rainy, but they did a good job prepping it because it was like the dirt was primo. So.
We got Matteo Burnett said, "We love your show." Well, we love you too, Matteo.
Oh, thanks. Really appreciate it. Color runs. That's what Caden Danbury said. Okay. So, yeah, that thing was cool, Caden. I don't know if you did it, but it was pretty neat. So to see those, to see all of the camaraderie and all of the stuff that was happening at the races, it really, really brought me back to a level where, at Lucas and I'm not talking bad about Lucas, but when we were doing the professional stuff, it started getting so much like a job. Mm-hmm. That it kind of took the fun out of it. You know what I mean?
I do. And
when I got there, I instantly was having fun again.
Good.
Like, just because everybody that was around, the Danburys treated me so awesome. Got me an In-N-Out hamburger.
Nice.
So it was super cool. I got to meet Jesse Nelson's parents. They were really, really cool. They had a little puppy there, too. The dog was super cool. So it was just neat to see all the camaraderie. And then, anytime anybody broke or time anybody had an issue, they were there to help. And
awesome.
Caden unfortunately had an accident and had his radiator taken off, but one of the other families had an extra radiator, and they took it off that car and put it on Caden's. And
I feel like that's how racing used to be before.
That's how it should be.
And agreed, but used to be. I mean, when we raced moto, it was like that. This guy had a whatever and a tire, you needed it, whatever the case may be. And I think with all this social media stuff, it's good and bad.
Yeah, that's true.
So good to the point that you can, get everything, get the race more popular or get the organization out to the masses. But then maybe some negative because it drives wedges between people because everybody's so worried about the image or whatever. But behind the scenes at grassroots racing, it's still, hey, you need a radiator? I got one.
Yep, exactly.
Those are friendships that are established and will be that way for lifetimes.
Yep, for till the end of time. Yeah, I don't disagree with that stuff at all, and I can tell you right now that that's the exact vibe I felt right when I entered the pits, man.
Yep.
So it was super cool.
We need more of that just as a civilization period.
I don't disagree with that. That's kind of what we were talking about with this, all this madness that's been going on. So, I know I might have missed a couple of people, but thank you everybody for treating me so awesome when we were at the races. It was really, really cool. Everybody welcomed me with open arms, and I just loved it. So I had a great time, and I can't wait to go to the Blythe Works race. I think it's in about a month or so I'm going to cruise out there and hang out. So I think it'll be pretty neat. And who knows how that track's going to be. I've never been to a track in Blythe, but
it'll be a Works one also.
Yeah. But I don't even know where Havasu was pretty beautiful, so I don't know how this one's going to be. So
there is one gas station out there, so
I know. Oh, and a bunch of motorhomes with people camping out. So,
pottery.
So it was really cool to be out there. So thank you everybody so much for welcoming us. All right, well, do you got anything else for us?
I need to say hello to Mr. Biter because he said hello.
Oh, right on.
And he enjoys the show. Thank you.
Yeah, right on. Well, yeah, it's oh man, Caden blew his engine the next day. That sucks, man. Well, Caden, we're rooting for you every time you get out on the track, bud. But it sounds like these last couple times you get out on the track, you're ready to just move forward and get that thing on the podium.
There was something else to say, and I'm off cue now, but I'm going to say it anyways. But your shirt, let's talk about the dirt life. So let's do it.
All right.
I guess we kind of are already.
Well, we were talking about the Dirt Life at the Work series, but we're going to talk about the Dirt Life with our featured guest, Justin Covarrubias, coming up next. Let's take a commercial break real quick, and we will be right back. We'll see you guys in just a second.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target, and we are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it
Yep.
keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's
the
like a first
truck.
aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
What's up, Justin Covarrubias? What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm good.
We're doing great, man. We're really stoked to talk to you, man. It's pretty cool to have you on and to have met you this weekend.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and it was awesome to meet you.
What'd you end up thinking about the actual races?
I thought it was good. The track was brutal, tough on the cars, tough on the body, and it was a battle of attrition. Just getting to the finish was tough, so I thought it was a good weekend. Hanging out with everybody as usual is always a good time. So
Heck yeah, man.
good one for sure.
I definitely think it was a good one too. I like your backdrop. You got a bunch of cool motocross stuff back there, huh?
Yeah, I got some stuff set up for you guys, some memorabilia that I've kept.
So you were number 10 when you rode, did?
110. The 10 came out when I couldn't get that number. But, yeah, definitely the 10 stuck. I think after I did the Supercross Challenge, probably, that's what that bib's from. I didn't get to choose that, and I think after that, it stuck.
Yeah, that's cool, though. 10's a cool number.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else was 10 was Ryan Dungey, right?
Dungey had it. I think Fonseca had it. Brayton has it. A lot of guys have it. So, a lot of cool guys.
What kind of bike did you ride when you were riding dirt bikes?
I rode a lot of bikes. My last bike was a Honda CRF 250R.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I rode Yamaha 80s, Cali 65s, and KTM 50s.
Oh,
so
right.
I rode everything but Suzuki and Husky, I think.
Justin's pretty important. He's got landline people calling in.
Yeah, we still got one of those.
Sweet, man. Well, yeah, like we were saying earlier on the show, it's really cool to see all the people at the works races and stuff. Like, I didn't expect that, man. It was my first works race I had ever been to, and I didn't expect to have everybody be so nice and just to have such a good time up there, man. It was super cool to meet not only your family, but all the other families and stuff that were there. It's rad.
Yeah, it's a really cool environment, and that's the best part. You know, we race and we drive for only so long, and the rest of it's hanging out and wrenching and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely a good time.
I think that's what Jesse's having the biggest problem with, hanging out and wrenching. He just wants to get out there and ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants to pin it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. So enough about the works races. Let's start talking about you, man. So you grew up in the dirt too, or what?
Yeah, since my dad got me into it when I was young, about 3 years old, I think I started on PW 50, and from there it just took off. I think I loved it before I could even do it, because I'd always need my goggles and my gloves when I pushed my tricycle around when I was really young. So, yeah, we got pictures of that. Those are a little embarrassing. Cheeks squeezing out and everything. So, yeah, it was definitely, since before I even could touch a dirt bike, I think I fell in love with it.
That's cool. I met your mom, Jamie, and your dad, Ray, over the weekend, too. So your dad rode dirt bikes before?
Yeah, he got into it with his brothers on his own. He has a lot of brothers and a big family, and they all pitched in to buy a Honda 70, I believe, and they ride it around by their house and stuff, and that's how they got into it, and then they passed it down to us.
Oh, how cool. So they all shared it?
Yeah, they all rode the same bike.
Dang.
He even showed me where they used to derby around by their house.
Dude, that's great. You're probably like the same as us, though. Like, ain't nobody riding my bike, and he's got to share it with all the...
Right.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't have to do that, but
I'm gonna start keeping a tally, because that's about number 10.
Yeah.
PW50.
Yeah. I think PW50 is like the most common bike we've had on the
Dude,
show.
it's the undisputed champion. It's the knockout king, right? It's, I mean, everybody starts with a PW50. Well, unless you're us. We started too late or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's so cool. I am going to start a tally. I'm going to have to go back and keep track.
What if we both got PW50s now?
Right, then we'd be good.
We'd be part of the gang.
Yeah,
Cool bikes for sure.
absolutely.
So that's cool, man. So your dad lived the dirt life for his whole life with all his family then, huh?
Yeah, I definitely would not be in this or doing any of this stuff without him. He's the best mechanic I know. He's taught me everything I know, and we go to races together and everything, so it's cool to be doing it still.
It definitely is. Well, right when I showed up and came over and shook your hand, your dad was working on your car, man. He was getting that thing all dialed in for you to get out there and moto.
Awesome.
Yeah, he leaves no stone unturned for sure. He, like I said, taught me everything I know, and is part of the reason why things go smooth at the races.
Yeah, and you definitely did good. You definitely did good this weekend. We want to talk about it, but let's keep talking about your life, man. So you were doing PW50s. When did you start? Were you pretty young?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years old on training wheels, but I got a little sketchy with the training wheels on, so Dad took those off pretty quick, and I think I rode a dirt bike for a bicycle, so
Oh, really?
yeah, pretty young.
No,
No, it's awesome.
yeah, that's pretty awesome, dude. Well, that's cool. So you were into it from a super young age, but does that mean that you didn't want to do any of the other sports? You just wanted to play in the dirt, like, or did you like football and soccer and that kind of stuff too?
I did like to play the sports. My mom's a big baseball fan, so I did play baseball, and I did enjoy it, but moto was all on my own, and I could control my own destiny and how I did, and that just kind of turned me away from the team sports a little bit. I really liked just being out there on my own and controlling how I did.
You just like all the glory for yourself, like us.
You know what's so funny about that? I don't know if I've said it on here before, but I wanted to play football, and I did some team sports when I was little, but we were dooners and whatever. And again, I wanted to play football. And my dad was like, "No, I'll let you race moto, but I'm not going to let you race or play football because you can't control the other 15 Brunos coming at you, right? Or however many it is," which is so funny because you can't control the other guys on the bikes either. But in his mind, that made a lot more sense. So thanks, Pops.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You can control your own destiny, but
Right.
you go into the first corner, and first there's 20 dudes behind you that are
Totally.
getting ready to take you out.
At that point, I was like, no football, but we're going to race. Let's do it.
Yes, please. So did you just go like race in the amateur ranks and stuff like that? Get a KX60, or like what was the next steps?
Yeah, I started out racing desert. I raced the USDR series, US Desert Racing. I believe they're still around. It's kind of a smaller desert series, and that's how I started on 50s. And then I would practice on the moto track. And then I started just racing moto, about probably 65s or 80s. But all amateur. I did Mammoth 1 year, and that was really my only big race. I mostly just raced for fun and hadn't gotten too serious about it yet.
And what class did you race at Mammoth?
I rode 250C. I probably should have been riding B, but I was trying to do well in that before I moved up.
We got a few people talking about your family too. Best mom ever. So,
Best dad ever, too.
yeah, best dad ever. The Covarrubias family rules.
Awesome.
Very lucky with the parents I have.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any other siblings?
I got a little brother.
Oh, right on. Is he into it?
He rides. What was that?
Is he into it too, like dirt bikes and side by sides and stuff?
Yeah, he loves it. I want to get him in my car on one of these days after I race to try it out. He loves to ride his dirt bike, and I think he'd like racing the car even more.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's kind of neat that the side by sides are out now, right? Because like you don't have to ride a dirt bike; you can actually go out and like still have almost the same moto fun on a side by side.
Yeah, exactly. The things are so capable on the moto track that, I mean, you can almost pick. Other than turning, I think it's not that much different.
Yeah, the only thing we were talking about though is like you can't
Using your
like.
body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't use your body, and it's like that. So much more is relying on the car. So hey, there you go. So much more is relying on Dad making the car work good, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more important than the wrenching, I'd say. Well, both ways. I'd say it's a little bit more dangerous on the dirt bike, and then you definitely have to keep up on your stuff to keep those cars going the whole race.
Oh, Grandpa Brad loves you, buddy. Is that what it says? I can't see.
J-Dog.
J-Dog.
Yeah.
Love you too, Brad. Yeah.
So I
That was
didn't.
my nickname.
Oh, is that it? Right on. Well, yeah. So we kind of all grew up the same way, just kind of like riding dirt bikes and having fun. One of the things that I like to ask everybody, and we'll get into your schooling and stuff too, but like, what kind of things do you think that growing up in the dirt and growing up at the track and with your family and stuff, what do you think that that's taught you now? I guess even with the injury, but just growing up, like, I mean, to me, it seems like it's a really, really good tool to having all that stuff when you're young.
It definitely is. The sports taught me, besides my parents, I think riding dirt bikes taught me a lot about life, and it's a brutal sport at times. I mean, it's definitely not easy, and it teaches you to be gritty. Sometimes you just gotta grit it out to finish those races and be tough. And track's rough, and like you said, other people coming after you, and teaches you to be mentally tough when you got someone bearing down on you for the whole race or something like that. And then just the family aspect, to be able to do something for all those years with the family and meet the friends and people that I have. A lot of my friends like dirt bikes. I would say most of them watch and follow dirt bike stuff if they don't ride and race. So, and they've all stuck since I was little. I have friends from junior high and even elementary school that I knew from racing and stuff. So I'd say it's been a huge part of who I am, and yeah, it's just a big part of my life, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I think that for real, like, most of the stuff that I got from what he just said was, it teaches you respect because you respect the people around you. It teaches you how to be humble, and it also teaches you how to work hard. So I think a lot of those things have translated into our adult lives. How is it doing with you, like with school and obviously dealing with the new injury and stuff like that? Has it made it easier knowing what you know from all that stuff growing up?
Yeah, I feel like at a pretty young age, I learned that training was going to help me out with racing. And I think that kind of carried over into when I got hurt. I love to train and do everything my physical therapist wanted me to do. And I'm not sure that if I didn't fall in love with training and what it could do for me, that I would be that way now, Then as far as school and stuff, that's something I kind of got to apply that to, I got to keep going and get myself a degree in something something that's going to help me out in real life,
Yeah,
outside of racing.
exactly. And it's like, I hated school, man. Like, I couldn't stand it. Like, I never ever wanted to go to school. The only thing I wanted to do is just bail out and ride my dirt bike, right? But when I got injured, I was forced to obviously get an education and stuff like that. And I hated school so much that I decided I wanted to just get it over and done with as quickly as possible. So I went to school for 10, 11 hours a day, as much as I could, and just knocked it out. And I got my degree in 2.5 years just because I just didn't want to be there. I just wanted to get to work. So
yeah, that's the way to do it, and I'm a little bit that way. I kind of can't wait to get to work. The schooling's a little bit tough, but just gotta get through it.
yeah, exactly. So we had a comment that said Dustin is dying to say hi to you,
For you to say hi to him.
or for you to say hi to him.
Hi, Dustin.
So that's pretty cool, though. You got Dustin as a fan, man.
I think that it kind of goes with everybody that has been involved with that kind of stuff in moto and any kind of racing, that like there's a critical thinking that has to take place, like whether we realize it or not. But how many times did you leave the race? You probably still do. And you're driving home. How many times have we talked about this?
Yeah.
And you're analyzing what could have been better. Even if you had a great weekend, you're still trying to think through, like battle through exactly like you did in the race or the moto or whatever. Like, what could I have done better? Oh, next lap I'm going to do this. Like, you're doing that in real time.
Yeah.
And then you're also doing it outside of like, okay, how can I make the race program better? And what I'm getting at, I'm tying this together, is the same kind of thing, I guarantee you're applying to your life skills, schooling, whatnot. And I just feel like that's so.
And even maybe his recovery too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and look at how people have decided to adapt to certain things.
Yep.
Right. You guys built the hand clutch, and it's all those things, and you just have programmed your mind with that stuff. That now it's just like second nature. Like, oh, there's a problem. That's all right. We're gonna find a solution.
Yeah,
It's so common, I think.
that actually brings up a good point, Justin. Like, do you think that way? Like, since you have been a racer and stuff, does that change your mental outlook after being injured?
I think so. It like you said, you analyze yourself pretty heavy after a race, and
Right,
sometimes
to a fault
don't
sometimes,
even
right?
sleep at night.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose some sleep over it. You're just thinking about it because it matters. We love racing and we're competitive and we like to do well. But I definitely think it's carried over. Like you said, the critical thinking is important in all aspects of life. It's important to understand things and how it's happening and how you can do better at everything you do. So it's definitely an important lesson I'm taking from racing.
Dude, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, we got a comment too about that. It amazes me how addicting racing can be and what people will do to overcome it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a love that never dies. I mean, if you really love it, I think it never goes away. It's something I think about all the time, and my free time I watch races. I watch old races, new races. It's just something that never leaves you.
Dude, are you super bummed about Supercross not being on?
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I was talking about most of the weekend.
Yeah. And he owes it all to the PW50.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned it a couple times. Let's take a step back real quick. So you raced some amateur races and things like that, and you raced locally. Were you live in California or Colorado? Because we saw a comment that said Colorado. Yeah, I thought you said California, like Santa Clarita or something, right?
Yes. Yeah, Santa Clarita, California.
Okay. We had a comment saying Colorado. That's why I got confused. But so being from Southern California, you still have pretty good, like, we wouldn't call them local races, I guess, or amateur races, like in California too. Did you do good at any of those races?
I didn't go to them much. I qualified for Mammoth in 2014. That was my one and only amateur national. I mostly raced locally. I wish I would have done some more, but I was kind of just getting into it and pushing for those kind of races towards the end of my dirt bike career.
So what actually ended up happening then? Like, what bike were you on? Where were you at? And like, maybe take us through that day that changed your life.
I was on that CRF 250R. It was 14, and I was at Milestone at a Trans World Series race. I raced 2 classes that day, and I ended up crashing in my last moto of the day real late. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I don't remember too much from the crash until I woke up in the hospital. I remember the section and right up to the jump and all that, but after that, it's pretty blank.
Did anybody any catch it, or did anybody tell you like what they thought happened so they could give you a little brief on it?
They thought I knew where it was, and somebody had seen it, I believe, but no, I really don't have a good picture of what happened. Nobody really saw it too clear, or anybody that I was in good contact with, so that's a little bit of a mystery to all of us.
So when they saw you laying on the track, they just had the medical crew come over and pick you up and take you?
Pretty much. My dad was there, and they were telling me to move everything, which he thought I just wasn't. He thought I was just being a butthead and not moving anything. But yeah, from there they took me to Arrowhead Hospital, and once they realized what was going on, I went to Loma Linda.
Gotcha. And how old were you when this happened?
16 years old. I just started my junior year in high school.
So that right there is a a huge thing. Yeah, a tough time to handle. Especially, you're a teenager, you're going through, you're already going through tough times, you know what I mean? You're growing up, and to have something like that. When I broke my back, I was 19, and it was difficult for me. I could imagine that it was, harder for him. I'm sure there was a lot of trials and tribulations, and we can kind of skip over some of that stuff because I kind of know about it, and we've talked about it with some of our audience already. But was there anything that stuck out to you, like with your family, with the support mechanisms and things like that you really hang on to these days too?
It was honestly awesome and overwhelming how the town and my school and everybody reacted. I had tons of support. My family was there. My friends came to see me often while I was in the hospital, and I think that was just the biggest thing. I went back to school for my senior year. They set me up for that. There was just a huge outpouring of support, and I would have never expected it, and it was just really awesome and something I'm super thankful for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I can definitely chime in on those too, because like over the past year when I got hurt, just the past year, because it's obviously fresh on my mind, is that the amount of outpouring of support is just phenomenal. So it's really neat to see that, and we're getting the same stuff commenting in, like on in some of our Facebook comments. You'll have to go back and read through them after we're done having the interview, because there's a ton of people saying how much they really support you, love the family, love everybody around. So it's neat that you're impacting all these people's lives, and you may not even know you're doing it, bud.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't think I was, but if I can, that's definitely the best thing that could come of this, I feel.
Well, dude, one of the things that you inspired me is that freaking setup that you have in your car with the twist throttle and the brake. Like, did you and your dad build that thing? Because that thing is bad.
Yeah, I love it. That's mostly Pops' thought right there and work. I think most of it was I'm always in for it, but he loves it so much that he kind of jumped into that on his own when I was looking into cars and stuff, and he just figured it out. He thought that would be the best way, and so did I, and came to life.
So you were talking about overanalyzing it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I thought, like when you were talking about it right now, and we're talking about this, was so it's a super kick-ass system. Like I kind of want to drive it and like test it out. So it's a twist throttle with your right hand, and then you can push the brake to move it forward. Nice. And then he steers with the left hand. But I was just thinking, like if we're overanalyzing it, dude, your left arm is going to be so much more yoked than your right arm one of these days. Like you're going to have a Popeye lefty.
It's going to miss Jim Day on one side.
Find that bump soon. And all that, yeah, no, definitely.
How does it work when you're on the track? Can you time stuff better since you can kind of like blip the throttle like on little bumps and stuff?
I think so. I think it's kind of a home feeling for me, and the ECU and everything on that car feels so close to a dirt bike, and the way you can set up your clutch and everything on how it hits on the bottom. But yeah, I think using that throttle is it's nice and it's familiar.
Yeah, that's cool. Like right when I put the hand clutch in the YXZ, it's obviously not on the left hand side; it's on the right hand side, but it still gives you that same feeling, like because you can control the motor with your fingers.
Sure.
So it's like super, and I could imagine like having a twist throttle would be the same way.
Isn't that cool that like out of adversity and adaptation, it kind of becomes a little bit of a, like for you, it's probably a little bit of an advantage for you. You know what I'm saying?
I would say so. I think anybody that rides a dirt bike,
right,
it would be,
that's
and has ridden a dirt bike, and I think everyone should try it like that, honestly. It's pretty fun.
So now, kudos to Pops.
Yeah, definitely. That's bitching that Pops came up with it. And so we came up with that whole shifting mechanism for mine, right? And so to go with like what you're saying, I got so many people that were like trying to protest and bitch at me because they were like, how does he get to use that? So I'm like, I can't move my legs, you guys. Like, come on. Like, but I can use this and I can do it. And they're telling me that it's an advantage and I shouldn't be able to use it. I'm like, dude, just because you got beat and you can move your legs, don't complain to me. Like, come on.
So the good news is the racers are treating you like racers treat racers.
Yeah, that's good. So it did actually make me feel good. I took a positive from it. So who knows? Maybe all these moto guys are going to be like, "Oh, Justin gets to run that. What the hell?"
Yeah, maybe. If I start doing a little better, it might happen.
Your dad's going to make a business out of having like the moto throttles and the razors.
That'd be perfect, honestly.
That would be super cool. We got some more comments that came in that saying how much they love you guys and your family and stuff. That great, humble people with good hearts. So it's really nice to see that. You're definitely going to have to check out the comments afterwards and thank everybody because it's super cool seeing all that
Yeah,
outpouring.
that's very awesome.
Okay, so you got hurt, and then so what was it like? Kind of maybe the next few months or something. Like, where was the transitionary period for you? Like, in at least mentally or physically, whatever you want to call it, to understand what you were going to do next.
Honestly, at first I didn't really know. I just took wanting to ride my dirt bike again as a motivation and went to work on everything the therapist wanted me to do. And it really took probably a year or two to come out of that and start thinking about everything else, you know. Around that time, talking about riding the bike was coming up, and then my car came in, and the whole time I was going to school, and I would say it took a couple of years to kind of change the mindset of just a year or two to get used from just getting used to being in this situation, you know?
Yeah, to have limited functionality and how you have to live your life and stuff. Well, now that you mention it, you were talking about kind of thinking about maybe riding the bike and stuff. Brad Davidson commented in and saying that you can actually still ride a motorcycle with a little bit of assistance, and you have some special controls and stuff on it, right?
Yeah, that's something me and Pop also kind of wanted to conquer and worked on together. He built a cage around the legs to steel, and then I have a pingle shifter for like drag bikes.
I had the same
So
one.
I got up and down.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I got clutch and brake, rear brake on the left. Two levers on the left.
That's super cool, man. It's like you think like when you're a normal dude riding a dirt bike, you're like, how's that gonna work? Like I wouldn't be able to do that, but like since he's forced to do it, like you were saying, out of necessity.
So awesome.
Yeah, and he just overcomes and adapts to it. That's bitching, man.
There's such a common success story, or there's a common.
While you talk, I'm gonna put some pictures on so people can look at some pictures of Justin and the things that he's done. So
as we've gone through, talking to a lot of these guys, there's a reoccurring theme, I guess, where it's the new normal.
Yeah.
Right, where you finally have that, whatever it is. I mean, there's pain, there's hardship, there's everything that goes with that, all the emotions and the grieving process. But then there's this point where the people that are going to get out of it, they decide, this is my new normal, and I'm moving forward. And it's such an inspiration to see how everybody grabs that and runs with it.
The new normal, right? And just basically saying like how you adapt. Did that kind of change the way that your outlook is on some of the other things that you're doing in life now?
Yeah, biggest thing I learned is things change in life, and sometimes they change quick, and you do have to learn to adapt. This isn't the first time or the last time I had to adapt to something, but this was a big one and a big change, and there's more of that coming, so it definitely teaches you how to run with that.
It really does, man. And like I've had to adapt to that same kind of stuff. Casey had some brain surgery that he had to adapt to too, and kind of learn his new normal too. And just like with racing, and Casey raced professional RC cars and things like that too. And it's really relatable because everything is like your new normal. Like you have to adapt to like, I don't know, all kinds of crazy stuff. Even me this year, like I'm every day that I eat, that's like my new normal. Like,
and it's that mindset of, first there's that self-awareness, right? We have to know, okay, what am I capable of, and what can I now decide is my new normal, and how do I break through that? Well, how do I go further than that? And that, again, it's such a reoccurring thing that we hear on this show, and it really is a giant inspiration to everybody that I talk to. So happy to hear, awesome stories as yourself.
It's super cool, Justin. Like it really is, man. And so now that you are a little bit into the injury and you're able to do some of these things, what is your new normal now? Like, what do you do on a daily basis?
On the daily, I am still on it on physical therapy as much as I can. I like to still do my standing and walking. It's good for the bones and the spasticity and all that. So I work on that as much as I can. School and trying to get a career, finding out what I really want to do is kind of the main priority right now because real life's coming up for sure, and that stuff needs to get figured out. But yeah, school and physical therapy and any kind of, like I said, racing and dirt bikes and anything on wheels kind of has always consumed my mind. So that's definitely what I occupy myself with in my free time.
It sounds like obviously those are your top goals. Like let's just say you want to become a professional off-road racer or whatever it is. But to achieve those goals, you obviously have to go through a bunch of little milestones to get there. And we talked about it before. We've talked about it with Caden Danbury. You eat the elephant one bite at a time, right? You can't eat a whole elephant in one meal. So you're easily doing that right now by all of the little things that you're doing. One of the things that you just said that interested me the most was that you're trying to do physical therapy to learn how to walk again. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started going to therapy twice a week when I started. I still go about once a week or every other week to check in. Most of it's at home now. I just bring everything my awesome therapist, Gloria, has taught me. She just really pushed me. I think the first day in there, she had me standing up with her knees and something to grab onto, I think. And me and my mom and everybody there were just kind of like, we're going to do what? We're going to stand up? Like, we just started. But she's been really awesome, and he's part of me being able to get to where I am and capable of what I'm doing.
Dude, I love that because she knows exactly what he needs. Like, throw him in the fire right away. Yeah.
Yep.
Because that's what he needs.
Exactly.
Yeah, kudos to her for
and I loved it. It was perfect for me. It was.
Yep.
Yeah. No. Well, I think she's that way. She's gonna push everybody, and I just really took a liking to it.
And so you still do it every day then?
Yeah, the technique she taught me and the way she taught me and everything, because I still don't have much function below my kind of like upper abdomen. So, yeah, that's all from her, really.
And your dad told me a cool story about you using the exoskeleton, and you kind of like outgrew that or outdid it.
Yeah, I once I could walk with leg braces and a walker, I felt that was more functional, and I should just do it that way. But yes, I did do some demos showing the hospitals and people about the exoskeleton, and that was awesome. Definitely grateful for that, and both ways of walking is definitely cool for someone in the situation.
How have you, like you said you walked with leg braces and the walker and stuff, are they kind of like similar to the ones that I have here? Like the kind of like an ankle brace, or what would you use?
Pretty much. My therapist calls it a KFO, which is, actually I don't even know what that completely stands for. Knee,
foot,
ankle,
orthotic.
foot?
Yeah, knee, foot,
Yeah,
orthotic.
knee, foot, orthotic. And mine comes up a little bit higher to help lock the knee. But pretty much the same thing. They're plastic, and I got a little bit more material than you, but it looks quite like that.
Sweet, man. Well, that's super cool because that kind of like reminds me of the same stuff that I went through when I was trying to start walking again.
Yeah, and think about what he said with the exoskeleton deal. Like, so I like to say graduated, right? So you graduated from that, you conquered that, and then you spent your time demoing it for others. Like, here we go again with
Giving back.
It's just again a reoccurring story with.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit,
awesome.
dude. That's bitching.
I had a pretty good relationship with pretty much everybody that's come in contact from being inpatient rehab to rehab after, and then also with Triumph Foundation and other people that I've met that have got me in to do some really cool stuff that I definitely wouldn't have done if I didn't get hurt. And like I said, I've had really good people, and they just kind of stuck around and brought me in to do that kind of stuff.
It seems like he's like kind of skirting around it a little bit, but like he needs to give himself some credit here too, dude.
I don't think he's got it in him.
You're a strong mofo, dude, to be able to do all that stuff. You better be able to understand how much people see the strength in you.
Yeah, I think that's maybe something I struggle with a little bit. But I think it keeps me moving, man. It just keeps me going. What's next, and that's the way I see it. I could probably give myself some more credit every once in a while, but yeah, I think it keeps me going.
You got a lot of people that are saying you're such a positive family and a positive outlook for you. We've even got one credit that says they see a superstar for every moto or brand that's looking to sponsor anybody. Definitely take a look at this young man.
No,
So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I think that's pretty cool, and I don't disagree with that though, man. Like you got to put it in perspective too. A lot of these big companies and stuff, it's hard to break the ice with them. But when you see a situation like this, man, it would. If I had a company, I would rather sponsor somebody like him.
Well, he's obviously a humble guy, and risen to the top of all this stuff that he's had to deal with. It's obviously infectious. I mean, people keep commenting. It'll be good to go back and check out the comments, like George said before. But again, I think it's
dude, and he shreds.
It's just you, bro. Just keep being you. Obviously.
Yeah, and he's like just super fast in a racer.
Yeah,
too.
that doesn't hurt.
So, and his dad just showed me that. Like, I still can't get over the whole throttle system.
It's so
dude.
cool.
It's bitching.
I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah, I want. What kind of like seat cushion and stuff do you use?
I'm in a regular seat for the races. I seem to be fine for the duration of the race. But yeah, I just use the seat that I bought, the bucket, and I do fine with the padding. So I think the races are just short enough that I don't got to really worry about the skin or anything sitting on it. Plus, you're bouncing up and down. Your weight's coming off of you. But yeah, just a normal seat.
You have to tie your legs in and stuff?
Yeah, we built some straps, and then my feet slide into like wakeboard bindings that are on a.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Jesse.
built.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Jesse did his too. So I told Jesse, I think when I'm going to go to the Blythe Works race. I don't know if you guys are going to go up there, but
Yeah.
I want to bring the seat foam or the seat pad that I had made, so you could put it in your guys' cars, and even if you don't want to race with it, you could at least sit in it and try it out because it's freaking awesome, man. It's like a total game changer.
No, for sure. All that stuff does make a difference. I'm definitely starting to realize it now, getting in there with the fast guys, that you feel that roll a little bit more. So yeah, the seat's important for someone like us. So definitely interested in that.
Well, I think it's important for everybody. So, like, I did, like, when I started side-by-side racing, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like a moto dude in my brain, and I just, like, went out there and pinned it, right? And so I thought I was doing good, and I was doing decent. But the first race I went out, I think we got a podium, or we did well. I don't remember what it was. But so then I started, like, figuring out that, like, I don't know, I was hurting after the races and all these different things. And then we had one of our buddies here that Casey knows really well. His name's Jeff Furrier from UPR.com. And he's like, bring your razor down and let me look at it, because I don't think your cockpit is set up the way that it should be. And I was like, what do you mean? And what? Don't you just sit there and turn the wheel? He's like, no, retard. Like, you got to have it, like, set up good.
You just do that for moto too, right? You just
sit there and turn this. But I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And so my point is that, like, I sat in the car and he was looking at me, and my legs were completely sideways, like off to one side. The steering wheel was off to the other side, and that's the way that people were using it, right? And he goes, all right, just let's figure this out. And then so we went through like a few-week process and got everything straightened out and got the steering wheel more towards me and got everything lined up. And it was like the biggest game changer. It was like going from stock suspension to factory suspension. Like, it made it so you could turn the wheel easily. It made it so...
And like you said, you need to feel it too.
Yeah.
And your body's not made to be all off kilter.
Exactly.
It needs to be centered. So I totally could see it. I think Jeff's the man when it comes to stuff like that.
Dude, it's super good. And I didn't mean to like promote him or anything, but it was cool that he offered me that, and I think everybody should try to at least do it themselves, or they could obviously contact Jeff, but that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe if I come out to Blythe, I can help you and Jesse to try to show you guys the way that maybe it kind of makes all these little tiny things equal this big like improvement, and it's super cool, man, once it gets done.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you were saying with the bike. You're picky about your cockpit and your bars, and
Yep.
That's maybe something you don't think is as important. But yeah, I don't see why being comfortable in the driver's seat isn't just as important.
It makes it so much easier too. Like, you said like the races are just long enough where you don't get tired. Well, what if you could go twice as long? That means you could go that much faster for that little duration of time.
Totally.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of benefits to it. So I think that like maybe when I go to Blythe, I can come over and we can hang out and I'll bring some of that stuff and you can see what you think.
Definitely. Sounds good to me.
Well, I definitely think you're getting a lot of these comments. Somebody even commented in that he's handsome too. Handsome and smart. How can you not love the dude?
What else do you need, they say. Handsome, smart, and fast. Don't forget the fast.
Yeah, don't forget the fast. Yeah, he doesn't care about the handsome and smart. He just wants to be fast.
Obviously, because he said, I don't want to pad because I'm bouncing around. So he's like, I want to be faster. Totally.
Well, what are some of the short-term goals that you have?
Short term, I'd like to keep moving on my therapy. That's always a goal. Keep getting better. It's always good to see improvement with that. And then I'd like to keep doing well in the racing. The races coming up and the work stuff, and just kind of keep consistent. Good finishing is a nice thing, and then good finishes are definitely awesome. So that's the goal, and then just keep going with school, man.
What are you going to school for?
That's pretty much what I got going on.
What are you going to school for?
Well, right now, I started as an engineer. I started going that way,
Dude,
and
look at
I
this
realized,
guy.
Awesome.
Well, let me finish. I kind of backed out of that once I got to the math and science. I realized I wasn't super into it. I maybe am. That might have been me. That might be something I need to get back to. But right now, I'm about ready to transfer for business administration or accounting. But I need to do something I really like. I'm looking for a career and something that I love to do. And that I can do every day. So just kind of making sure that that's what I want to do before I really finish school and. So kind of still feeling it out a little bit.
Well, there's a common theme that we've been seeing with him this whole time, and the most of his goals, whether be it walking or going through his younger years in school and stuff, he was always focused on racing as his number one goal, right? Like do whatever it takes in these other things to do to get better at racing.
Right.
So I kind of feel like what he's talking about with engineering and things like that might be like some way that he could transition it into the racing stuff too. Accounting, I guess you could do all of the accounting for all the people that spend a shitload of money at the track.
Yeah, I mean, everything can kind of turn into something in the industry, and I think that's really what I want. I just want to. This is what I love, and I think I should probably have a job involved in it. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and it'll play out and come when it comes.
Yeah, and you're doing something that you love too, and he obviously cares about it. We started the Dirt Life show like just over 6-8 months ago, and I had no idea what we were doing, and I just wanted to kind of do the same thing that you were doing. I started out of necessity because I couldn't see it, and I couldn't hear or do anything like that. And then all of a sudden, people started getting into it, and we have such great conversations with people. Obviously, we're going to be inspired by you, and there's so many people obviously chiming in that are inspiring, and it really resonates a lot. And I think that sometimes those things fall in your lap. Sometimes they work. You have to work to get it. I didn't know how to start a podcast, but my whole life was around computers after I got my back hurt. So like it kind of all transitions into it. So when he says that he's kind of seeing what things will happen and how it will flow together, but he still has the end goal of working in the industry or working as something that he loves, I think that's a fantastic way to look at it, man.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I mean, again, we all talk about this stuff, but how many times in life do you finally look at it and go, wow, this whole thing, whatever it is, was such a giant blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And it all is working to whatever it is for this young man, this humble young man who is got everything going for him.
It's just so cool. All right, well, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. We got a couple more questions for you, and then we're going to do our rapid-fire Q&A. It's a surprise. But the last couple questions, we asked what the near future holds. What are some of your long-term goals where you see yourself in maybe 5 or 10 years?
That's a little ways out there, but I definitely want to, get out on my own by then and be living on my own and have, whoever's going to be around for that in there. But yeah, that's definitely a goal long term is to be set up on my own and just be able to live on my own, and that's about it. Just get ready for what's to come.
Yeah.
Be able to support myself.
I think he's been a little too humble. Like, I can see it in his brain that he's like, I got this big old shop. I'm going to be helping all these cars. I'm going to be designing all these cool products.
I do. If we're talking that, I do want to live. It's always been the dream to live where I can ride and have maybe some land that I could build tracks on and stuff. So that is a long-term goal, to be able to
how killer would that
ride
be?
out of my house.
That would be insane.
What was that?
I said, how killer would that be to Casey? Like, that would be insane, man. So what, you just have like a couple like tractors out there and just build like massive hits that you can connect in your side by side?
Yeah, some jumps, some turns, and you got a track.
What else do you need?
Yeah, exactly. Well, funny. I know one person. His name is Jesse Nelson. He'll be over there riding with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm always down to hang with that guy. He's a very cool guy.
Yeah, and he likes to go to just huck razors and do all kinds of fun stuff. So that's cool. Well, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your comments that I'm an inspiring man too. But I really do think that I'm grateful that Justin and I crossed paths too, because no matter what you've been through in life, whether it's a person like me who's faced adversity, a person like Casey who's faced adversity, a person like Justin who's faced adversity, you can get a story from every single person on the planet, whether it's a homeless man, anybody. There's always something to learn from them. And we can definitely get something to learn from Justin, especially when we ask you these last two questions. So what do you want to be remembered for?
Honestly, I just want to be remembered as someone that worked hard and didn't let fear of something happening keep him from what he loved, I think that's, in anything, you should do that. Things happen that make you take a step, maybe make you step back a little bit or think about what you're doing or make you a little bit scared of the things you love, and I just think you shouldn't be scared of what you love. You shouldn't not do something because you're scared.
Are you scared or afraid of anything?
I think being hurt kind of strikes some fear in me on dirt bikes, and sometimes there's a little bit on the track. Honestly, I think it's just part of it. It's a pretty sometimes dangerous sport, and we're sending those things, and I think there's always that in the back of your mind, and you just have to overcome it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's good that he looks at it like that. You know what I mean? Doesn't let him bother him or stop him from doing something. Right. Brad Davidson said he'll build the fastest truck. Give Ricky a run for his money.
Oh, God.
All right.
Grandpa.
You ready for a rapid-fire Q&A, bud?
Yep, send them my way.
All right, Case, you go first.
It doesn't have as much meaning now, but because of what's happened, but we're still going to go with it. So we'll pretend that the last 2 weeks didn't happen.
Okay.
Roxon or Tomac?
Tomac, all the way.
Yeah, look whose jersey's behind him.
Oh, yeah, duh.
So you're going Tomac all the way. Okay, well, I'm going to pick Roxon then just so we can battle. All right. What's your favorite food?
Tacos.
Yes! Did you see my shirt?
I don't think. Oh, I have one.
Yeah, I gave you one. Let's talk about the dirt life.
I got one this weekend.
Yeah, and I showed your mom, I think, too, that the funniest part about the whole shirt is he's pouring taco sauce on himself.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
All right, Case, what's the next one?
Okay, iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Dude, yeah, and we always tell people this. This is the question that we put in there to profile people. So, just letting you know. Does anybody in your family have an Android? We might have to kick them out, dude.
No, we're good over here.
Okay, cool. All right, what's your favorite soda?
Dr. Pepper.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Great one.
So Dr. Pepper's Crave Rider Diet Dr. Pepper's a little sweet.
Most memorable race. Most memorable race. I guess it could be. Actually, let's leave it open ended. Most memorable race. Period. And go.
I would say my first race in a side-by-side, my first works race.
Really?
Honestly.
Where was it at?
I would say so. It was in Vegas at the Orleans in 2018.
Okay, so let's give Casey a little background of this place because it's like a supercross track inside a stadium for the side by side. No,
Sweet.
It's gnarly though. Like they got this like tire
like
thing
in a convention center or something.
Yeah, but you got to climb up like tractor tires and stuff, don't you?
Like where they do enduro cross?
It's
kind of
enduro on the inside and moto or tight kind of supercrossy stuff outside.
Nice.
How gnarly was that race though? Because to me it looks freaking bananas.
And that was your first one ever? Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. The logs and stuff, and it was definitely a tough one to learn at. But I jump back in there.
Dude, his therapist throws him in the fire. He goes to his first side by side race, gets thrown in the fire. Holy smokes!
Maybe she had me ready.
She did.
Dang. All right. Next question. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh. Anything, probably strawberry.
Oh, you're going strawberry?
Cherry. That's kind of bland, but I can't think of any of the crazy ones I like. I don't eat too much ice cream, I guess.
All right. We'll
okay, then M&M's or Skittles?
Yep.
Skittles.
Yeah, because it's strawberry. You already knew it. All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
We already got the answer on this one. Burrito or taco?
Yeah.
Tacos. Tacos.
This one's a little bit more of a loaded question. If you were a character in the movie The Hangover, which character would you be?
Don't forget to tell him that he can be.
Yeah. You can be. You're allowed to be Mike Tyson if you want.
That's the easy way out.
Oh, he has a tiger. That's pretty crazy. I think I might have to be him.
Just because the tiger?
That's awesome.
Just because, who has a tiger?
That is true. We had one of our guests, what the heck is his name? The little Asian guy. We had one of him pick that little Asian guy.
What other form?
Oh, yeah, he's so funny. I'm not even thinking of everybody, but...
What other form of racing?
Quickly, I'll be Tyson.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, so Tyson.
What was that?
What other form of racing would you like to try?
This could be anything, too. You can pick, like, F1, monster trucks, MotoGP, anything.
Some on-road or whatever you call it definitely sounds interesting, but I think I want to race chairs. I want to do kind of like Bailey, maybe. That's something that interests me, being an Ironman. I think that's really cool. I rode road bikes. I was cross-training for motocross, and that's just something I really like, and I think I'd like racing chairs.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Hand cycle, anything.
I think that's a great answer. So I might be able to help you a little bit with that. I'm not on a David Bailey level or anything, but to get into off-road racing, I started riding pedal bikes just to try to make a name for myself. I had a 5-year goal. And my 5-year goal was at the end of the 5th year to have enough sponsorship and notoriety to be able to get into off-road racing. I knew it was really expensive, and so I was like, okay, well, I got to get some money somewhere. And so I started riding bicycles, and I ended up doing some bicycle races where it was 111 miles or so. Casey's done it. It's called the El Tour de Tucson. And I got enough notoriety to get sponsored by a company called Supercuts. They do like haircuts and stuff. And they actually paid for me to participate in Ironman. And I did an Ironman and did it in the chair and the bicycle. And the swimming part sucked ass. Like, it was horrible. Being a dude from Arizona, I don't know how to swim. So I had to learn how to do that. But the chair was really cool. Like, they're super fast and crazy. I don't know if you ever rode one yet.
No, I haven't been in a race chair. I've been in a hand cycle.
So the race chairs,
they look cool.
The race chairs, you don't hold on to them. You use these like boxing gloves and you push on them, like you punch down on the wheels. And so, and they're so fast, and there's only one little tiny brake, and it's on the front wheel, which never hits the ground. So you have like no brakes. They're insane, dude. They're so crazy to drive.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. I'm I'm super interested.
It's like
in
what
getting one of those things.
we just asked you what you're afraid of. Like I'm kind of afraid of those. Dude, when I was doing the Ironman,
I don't blame you.
I came down this like hill that you like step down, kind of like go through a corner, and you have to like dodge in between the fans, like all these people are watching, and I got like all sideways and I couldn't hit the brakes, and I hit this like side of the curb. No, and I was like one wheel wonder, and I was going straight for all the fans on the side, and somehow I don't know, by the grace of God, I just like turned the car and just like made it back in without hitting anybody. But I almost killed myself. Like it scared me more than most side by side crashes. Like it was gnarly. But I think that's a good answer, man. Like racing those chairs is super cool. The CAF, the Challenged Athletes Foundation, is who gave me the chair that I had for the racing chair, and they got a guy named Carlos. I forgot what his last name is, but he's like the only dude on the West Coast that gets you fitted and gets you all dialed in for him. So if you do want to race one of those or try one of them, and if you're not friends with David Bailey, then I'm happy to help you too.
No, that'd be super cool. Thank you.
All right, we got another question.
Yeah, you got the last one.
Ooh, I get the last one this time. All right, last one. It's the most important question of the day. Chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup?
Ooh, I'm not much fan of guacamole, so I'm going to go French fries and ketchup.
You're going
chips and salsa.
That you'd rather have chips and salsa? We had Steve Westfall from the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Racing team on a little while ago, and he even changed it up and just said, I'm taking French fries and ranch, didn't he? Yeah,
he did.
Oh, ranch is better than ketchup, so I'm with him on that one.
So fries and ranch.
Yeah, fries and ranch.
Okay.
So maybe we should change the question in general.
I want to hear somebody say, back to the form of racing, you said monster trucks.
Yeah.
I want to hear somebody say that. Even if they're joking, because how cool would that be?
But have you seen these new
They're
monster
insane.
truck drivers? Like,
they're insane.
What they do these days?
It is amazing.
Dude, they ride. And they ride like endos and like do all these crazy things. They're like
pretty insane.
Yeah.
They're bananas. Well, okay. So the last question is do you have anybody that you want to thank, or do you have anything else that you want to say?
I'd like to thank my family and everybody, the people that, my brother, my mom, my dad, everybody that's kind of supported me, my friends, my close friends, the friends I met through racing, just everybody that's been a part of my life, really. It's, there's so many people that have made this thing go smoother, and I'm just super grateful for it. I've come in contact with really cool people, and I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing had I not met those people and been into what I'm into. So, very grateful.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, and I can see that you're fully genuine when you say that. And I'll fire that right back at you, man. I want to thank you and your family for the introduction. To see how many great people that you have around you is pretty phenomenal, man. I think that there's a lot of people that should take a look at the way that you conduct yourself and the way that you live your life, because there's a lot of people that can learn from you, especially in the racing environment. You are a humble kid. You work hard, you have a great family around you, and you're really, really doing a good job, man. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the talk. That means something coming from you, knowing your story now. So
yeah, we'll talk a bunch more,
much.
man. We'll talk a bunch more, and then maybe at the end of the year, if you win a race, get on the podium, any of that stuff, we'll do a little interview with the GoPro when we're at the track too. So. All right, man. Well, keep going and tell your family I said hi, man. It was awesome having you.
Very cool. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, George.
No problem. We'll see you guys at Blythe.
See you guys.
Later. Man, it's pretty cool to hear that story, dude. I really, really like it.
So awesome.
So
love it.
When you hear a story like that, does it kind of, well, first of all, it brings us back to like our, younger days, right? But does it kind of, with all the madness that's happening in society these days, does it kind of put it in perspective a little bit more to understand the value of family and support mechanisms around you?
No doubt.
And how much more you can change people's lives and change your life by just infecting positivity?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
I just think it's crazy, man. So to me, like when I woke up last week on Tuesday after talking with Jesse Nelson, all I want to do is go ride my bicycle. Now, this week, with all the different changes in society and all these different things that are happening and talking to Justin, I just want to go out and like just be a nice person to everybody, don't you?
Yeah, isn't that funny? We were just talking about it. Like every time we get done with this, we'll talk in the garage for an hour about how awesome that last person was and how inspiring, and it just continues to amaze me.
It's just crazy, man. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, all of you, for commenting and giving Justin such positive messages. Thank you for all the positive messages that were directed towards Casey, myself, the show, and everybody that's part of it. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for all of the support this weekend at the Works races. I got to meet so many great people. It's pretty clear that now you got to meet them, too. We got to intertwine everybody. So maybe we can get some more stories as I meet all these fantastic people and their families and stuff.
A couple more comments, if you don't mind. Would you scroll up a little bit?
Sure. While we scroll up and you read the comments, I'll thank some of our sponsors. So thank you very much to the guys at Solder Weld for always being there for us and having our back. If you need any products to rescue your ride or your race, you can always get Solder Weld. They make some awesome stuff. You can fix radiators, you can bond metal, you can do anything with their products. It's really, really cool. So there's a bunch of people that have asked me about their products. You want to keep going up, or?
Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. And thank you very much to the guys at Shock Therapy. You can always use the code DIRTLIFE to save a whole bunch of money on anything that you buy up there or from them. It's pretty cool to be able to have such a supportive company behind us. And thank you very much to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products. We really, really love having them on board, man. They make such good products, and you can use the code DIRTLIFE to save a whole bunch of money with those guys. We're going to have a giveaway with Rugged Radios pretty soon. We're going to use the code DIRTLIFE. You can use the code DIRTLIFE to be able to save a whole bunch of money with them, so ruggedradios.com. And again, thank you everybody very much for tuning in. What any of the comments you want to talk about?
There was one up there that was just talking about how inspiring the show was and the story, and I couldn't remember who that was, so I kind of missed that. My bad.
You can scroll up if you want to. It's like the iPhone. You just rub your there you go. But yeah, you got to remember though too. And thank you very much for saying the show was inspiring. That's a huge compliment. But it's Justin. The show is about Justin. It's
Absolutely.
Justin. Justin is the one that makes the show. He's the one that made it inspiring. He's the one that's passing those vibes over to us.
Absolutely.
He's the one that's inspiring us to make the show about him and make it just a better show in general. So you got to give all the credit to Justin for being that type of person. He's a fantastic person. He's grown up that way because of the way his parents have raised him, so give them a lot of credit too. Those families that you meet are few and far between, so I love to have those stories. Next week's guest, we are going to have another inspiration. I didn't actually mean to schedule all these people back to back to back, but we're going to have another very, very inspiring story with a guy named James Jeremio, and he's a Lucas off-road racer, and he's actually a little bit more hurt, I don't know what you want to call it, than both Justin and I. He's actually a quadriplegic, and he can still race, and he still shreds, man. He's a badass dude. So did you find the comment?
Yeah, it was Alfonso.
Oh, right on. Adapt and overcome. Never give up. Never give up. What an inspiration. I swear this show is like church. Well, if it's like church, show up every Monday night.
Every Monday night.
come join us. So we really appreciate that, Alfonso. Thank you very much for the comment. Anything else you want to say, Case?
No, man. Again, I know I just keep saying it's a broken record. It's just so, I mean, it really is. It's inspiring. It's inspiring to me.
Yeah.
These things change the way I look at things.
It's like being able to sit down with somebody that you can talk to, like on a level that's connecting with you, because everybody's in the dirt life.
Right, and like you said, with so much bad and nasty, and especially now things going on, here's a down to earth, humble young man and a family that are just solid and grounded, and it's just great to get out of the matrix for a minute, and see
100%.
Like this is real. They're living real life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep. And to see it is just, it's so amazing. So, well, thank you very much to all the Covarrubias family. We really appreciate you guys letting Justin come on the show. It's really meaningful to us. So we will end the show by, saying thank you, first of all. But please, please be safe and look out for each other. We're in a weird time right now. All this craziness going on.
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. Be safe. Don't cough on each other. Don't spit on each other. Make sure that you're loving each other. And join us next Monday night when we talk to James Jeremio. We'll end it on a positive note. Thank you very much, James, for joining us. Or excuse me, Justin, for joining us. Thank you all the family. Thank you very much for Chris Eiton having me at the hospital. We love you, bud. Hope you keep getting better. Hope Casey's dad keeps getting better. Hope your mom keeps making that awesome roast and the pot pies.
Me too.
And thank you very much, Casey, for always coming in and supporting the show.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Always
we love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.